Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Criterion Connection, another episode of Criterion Connection. I'm Wade,
And I'm Joe.
and today we're doing a one camera thing because, let's be real, I'm tired. So, anyway, and we're having some equipment issues. So, we're back to the old one camera style for right now, and we're here to talk about, speaking of film issues,
Well, I like to say it's also a blast from the past.
yes.
Just
Blast
like this
from-
movie's about a blast from the past.
Yes, this movie is called Irma Vep,
Yep.
which is a movie that's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD, I believe, next week as of this recording.
Mm-hmm.
And it's directed by Olivier. What was his name? You're better accents than I am. I'll leave it to you.
I'm not really good with French.
Yes.
So, pardon.
Well, neither is the main character.
Olivier Assayas?
Yes, he did Clouds of Sil Maria, which we did recently. You can check that out on the archives.
Yeah.
This also, speaking of archives, this stars Maggie Cheung.
Yep. From 2046 and In the Mood for Love.
Yes. And
Along with she's also in Police Story.
Oh my gosh, she is. So
she's in all the Police Story movies, man.
You can check all of those out in our archives.
Yeah.
So basically, this movie's about her playing herself.
Yeah, she plays Maggie Cheung,
going to
Hong Kong actress,
going to France to do production on this old silent film, like a new adaptation.
It's from a legendary French director. I cannot pronounce his name, but he did Les Vampires. He did Fantomas, and he did a version of Judex, but not the one on Criterion. These are old film serials. This is from like 1915, Les Vampires. So, basically, the idea is we're remaking this classic French serial that's like so old that only intellectuals watch and talk about it. And that's kind of what this movie's about.
Yes, and it's also... Did you know Irma Vep is an anagram for vampire?
Yeah, I mean, that's the character's name.
I know. Did you know that?
Yes.
Are you art house enough to know that? Anyway.
It's you an intellectual?
Yeah.
As the reporter.
Yeah. It's basically... What I like about the film is it's Maggie. She is the outsider. She is not used to this culture. And neither are us as an audience member. We're foreign. If you're not really familiar with like French cinema and French filmmaking, you're gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah, especially, I think it's really indicative of that time too, of like the mid '90s.
Yeah. Have you seen Batman Returns?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we could finally say because this is the first time we say on the Criterion Connection, both of us do not like Batman Returns.
It sucks.
It's
Next question.
Yeah. This is the only time we'll ever mention it because they mentioned the Catwoman, and that ties into the. Yeah. We got to put Maggie in this.
He wants her in a skin tight latex.
Very sexualized.
Yeah.
And it's very like French. They like their sex in their movies and stuff like that. So it says a lot about the cinema. You know, I mean, she looks great in the skin. It's pretty iconic looking.
Yeah.
I kind of wish this was an actual movie she did.
And she's not just really good in this movie, she's really good in their movie.
Yeah. Where like I like how like I'm gonna be real. Throughout the first half of the movie, I had no clue what was going on. It was so chaotic, but then you look at the production, chaotic.
Yeah, that's the point.
And also, like, you don't know what the film's about. I don't know what this film's about.
They didn't know either.
Yeah. And it's basically, as someone who has dealt with really bad sets. Yeah. This happens a lot.
It's relatable to any indie filmmaker.
Yes. Murphy's Law, everything falls apart. People are at each other's throats sometimes.
Yelling at each other.
I've yelled at some people. It's very, especially with the director. The director's very like tired and just like I'm tired of this shit. That's pretty much the movie. It even like it gets really art house near the end.
Near the end or the end?
The end. I'm sorry, the end. It gets really, really art house, and it's like, of course it does.
Yeah. Basically, we deal with this production that most people don't really believe in. They're not really having a great time. They're just there to help the director. And the director he's feeling that lack of inspiration When people talk about how he used to be a good director, it's like he's lost a lot of his inspiration until he sees Maggie. And Maggie inspires him to not just, like, they want him to redo Les Vampires, but he sees her and he's like, that's my Irma Vep. And it just, he gets drawn to her, has feelings for her at one point, but it's just because she stirs a creative energy in him, but it doesn't sustain him. He burns out, and it gets at the end of the movie. For those who don't mind spoilers, this is a spoiler. The original director Renee gets taken off, and there's a whole bunch of rumors about how it happens. Like, he went nuts and got put in a clinic, but Maggie finds out the real answer. He just gets tired and leaves.
Yeah.
He just leaves.
It's like, screw this.
And so the producers in charge ask another director who does not see the same vision that this guy does. And when he sits down and they watch the test edit, it goes bonkers with this experimental version of Les Vampires. And you're just like, I could have watched a whole much longer version of that.
Yeah.
Of that crazy edit that he had going on. I was in. I wanted to see more. But, it's really interesting. I wanted to know what they thought about it.
Yeah.
Like, what did that director think when he saw that print?
Yeah. Like, it's basically a kind of, it also, you can see it as today.
Yeah.
Especially with this idea of, like, a different
rebooting,
creation,
remaking,
and also having a different creator come in, very Justice League, Justice League, and the Snyder Cut, and all that stuff. It's the same thing. Superheroes punching each other. Anyway, you have this idea of, like, these reboots, and just, like, it's exhausting. And this was 1996.
Yeah.
This was released, and you're just like, oh, it hasn't changed. It's like a cycle. And
you have that debate of, do you, like, is cinema for intellectuals, not worth it because the mass doesn't want that? Do you go with what the mass wants? And it's a really interesting act that a balancing act that the director of Irma Vep, Olivier Assayas, kind of juggles with.
Yeah.
It's like, is it worth putting all this effort into an intellectual movie for a niche audience, or do you just feed the audience what they want to see, which in this movie, and according to the interviewer, is John Woo movies. We all want John Woo movies.
Who doesn't?
And there's a place for them. They're in the Criterion collection.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really interesting question to bring up, and I love how he doesn't give an answer for it.
I mean, is it worth it? For Maggie, it is.
Yeah.
For both intellectual, like, art house and major cinema, we need more Maggie.
Yeah, and she, even not being, because they talk down to her because she's not, like, super familiar with Renee's work.
She's also not a native.
And she's like, he sent me a couple tapes, but they weren't subtitled, so I didn't know what was going on. And they kind of scoff at her. And she's like, well, no, I see the merit in what he was doing. I see the images and kind of the artist behind them. Which is why, at the end of the movie, she understands Renee better than everybody else.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just magnifique.
It was a chaotic movie and a chaotic set for them. Like, things were kind of going off, and, like, there's a part where Maggie gets, like, kind of method in character, and she goes and breaks into somebody's hotel room and steals a necklace. Like,
she's walking in the rain. Like,
I thought that was a great sequence.
It's awesome.
And you're just like, oh, but like, the movie never, like, leans into it.
Yeah. Once again, she's awesome.
Yeah.
And she's every film she's in, she's awesome. So Joe, I guess the big question is, would you recommend this to the audience?
I'd say yeah. I think it's worth a recommendation. I wouldn't put this at the top of my list. I wouldn't tell people to go out of their way. Like, if somebody were to come up to me and say, a movie that kind of brings this one to mind, I'd be like, "Oh, you should check this one out."
Like Living in Oblivion. Maybe. Filmmaking, Anarchy.
I think of 8.5.
Oh, 8.5, yeah. Which
8.5.
Which we've covered.
Yeah, 8.5 would be one. Like, if somebody came up to me and like, "Yeah, I just saw 8.5. I thought it was brilliant." I'd be like, "Check out this one."
Yeah. This is a good, recommendation. Like, you may also like.
That's basically where I'm at with
Okay.
it. It's not one where I'm like, "This is a fantastic, one-of-a-kind movie you have to watch." It's more of, yeah, it's pretty good, and if you like this, you may also like this.
Yeah, I'm also in that same boat as you. I would recommend it as just watch it, see if it's your cup of tea, or wait till Criterion or Barnes and Noble have that 50% off sale and just throw it in your cart. It's just like a blind buy.
Yeah,
it's not a blind buy if you listen to this review.
Yeah, if you got a buy one get one half off or buy one get one free, and you're stuck on an odd number, it's worth throwing in.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Also check it on the Criterion channel if you want to just give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our thoughts on Irma Vep. Let us know in the comment section below what you think about this film. Is there another film that's like 8.5 in this? It's about filmmaking that is on the Criterion collection. Let us know. More suggestions. Like I said, we're heading into the summer. We're going to start taking more suggestions from you all. So please throw more stuff out there. Share the video, subscribe.
And I think we're also kind of getting our schedules figured out because some of us have been going through some drastic changes over the last couple months, and we're kind of ironing it out.
People got new jobs.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of 2 short film productions, and
we're figuring out our schedule. So we're going to be available a little bit more often.
Yeah, there will be a more solid schedule because I know these we used to do these on Wednesdays. Might as well say now these episodes will be out probably Thursdays or Fridays now.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because there's more editing, more time can be put into these videos. More, sometimes we'll watch these. Like I said, we're recording this on a Tuesday. We usually record on Sundays. Stuff like that. Just let us know. Just any other things, any other movies. Let us know in the comments. Interact with us. So until next time, I'm Wade.
And I'm Joe.
And we will see you later.